God bless everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to episode 7 of Ask the Coach. I am delighted that you've joined me today. And listen, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. Can I ask you to please subscribe, hit that notification button so as soon as a new video is uploaded, you are instantly notified. And listen, guys, thank you so much. Please continue to share and subscribe. And please continue to put the thumbs up button. Last week, I could see the thumbs going up. So thank you for helping me with that. I really appreciate it. And listen, this week we have a great question as always. So let's get started. And this is the question. I know we're only in February, but I'm already losing my focus. How do I keep my focus on things I want to achieve? Listen, what a great question. I love it. We can all identify a losing focus. I certainly can. I have lost focus a lot of times in my life, but I've grown and I've learned about the power of focus. And so, it might be February for you. We're now in March and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've lost focus. We all understand it. I know what it is to start off so excited about a vision, an idea, a dream, an ambition, right? And at that moment of conception, in your heart and in your mind, nothing is going to be able to stop you. You're like, a bulldozer. You're going after it. But something happens along the way called the journey. Things are difficult. Things don't work out the way we expect them. And so you experience this thing I call the sinking feeling. The idea that it's never going to work. This is too hard. Oh my gosh, how can I keep going? This is not what I had in mind. Everyone else makes it look so simple, so easy. So absolutely, I can identify with having that feeling and thinking, what do I do next? And so I want to share with you a story just to get you focused and to get you thinking about, how to remain focused on your journey. And so this is a story. This is how it goes. There was 2 sets of communities living in the Amazon. One lived in the mountain area and the other community lived in the lowland, the valley area. One day, maybe because of boredom, let's say, the mountain people decide to invade the lowland people. And so they invade them. They bring with them violence and chaos, right? And it really reminds me of the story in Exodus when the children of Israel are leaving Egypt. And so the Bible explains it this way in terms of the impact Israel's leaving of Egypt had on Egyptian society as a whole. It says that they plundered Egypt. You know what it means to plunder? Plundered Egypt means that Israel literally collapsed the economy of Egypt. An amazing nation's economy hit the ground. Their stock was nothing. Israel left with gold, silver, spices. They left with things of value and wealth. So I want you to think about these 2 communities. When the mountain community invaded the lowlanders, they plundered that community. They took valuable things. They destroyed their possessions. They destroyed things that were valuable to that community. And not only that, they also took one of the babies that belonged to the lowland family. Now, they took that baby back up to the mountain area. When they had left the lowlanders, they, assessed the damage and recognized how terrible that invasion had been. But there was one family whose baby was now missing. And so the community comes together. They have a discussion. What should we do about it? And they decide to gather the most able men, rescue the baby, and to bring the baby back home. Now, they knew they were outskilled. They didn't have the skill. They didn't have the resources. They'd never climbed the mountain areas before. They didn't know the tracks. They didn't know the trails of the mountain people. Didn't even have the equipment to climb the mountains. Nevertheless, as a community, they resolved to focus on rescuing that baby. The men set off, full of hope, full of focus, determined to overcome the obstacles that they knew would be before them. Well, they tried one method of climbing the mountain, then they tried another method of climbing the mountain. They tried one way of climbing, then another way of climbing. They tried to use the limited equipment they had, but regardless of how hard they tried, they could only get a few hundred feet. A few days later, they resigned themselves to the fact that they can't rescue the baby. They changed their focus. They say, let's return back to the village. Let's explain what's happened. We tried, but we literally couldn't do it. As they packed up their equipment, ready for the descent, One of the men see a silhouette of this woman walking down the mountain. Yes, the very mountain that the men couldn't scale. She's walking down the mountain. There's a baby on her back. Lo and behold, it's the mother. She's coming down the mountain with the baby. Well, one of the men turned to her and said, "Madam, how could you scale this mountain? How could you walk up this mountain when we, the most able men from our village, couldn't manage it?" She turns to them and has a cheeky smile on her face and she says, "It wasn't your baby." Now that's a powerful story. And why on earth did I tell you that story? Because the lesson is this. There's a vision that belongs to you. There's a focus, there's a goal that is yours. And people come alongside us sometimes to focus on that vision. But when it's really your vision, your baby, when it's something you have to birth, you have to follow through, you keep focused. You go after it. You see, it doesn't matter the mountain that was before this mother. It doesn't matter that she didn't have the skills or the resources. She had sheer determination that she was going to scale that mountain and rescue her baby. And when it comes to holding on to focus, retaining focus, how to be focused, one of the key lessons is you have got to be determined. People oftentimes walk alongside us in our vision, and that is fantastic. But you've also got to prepare that sometimes they get weary along the journey. They lose their focus. But for you, the visionary, for you, the person who has the idea, the dream, you have to remain focused like that mother and continue to press through no matter how difficult the mountains are in your journey. It's a great illustration. And it really brings home the truth about focus. You see, focus isn't about power. It's not about strength, might, or even skill. The reality is that focus is about your assignment. It's about your purpose. It's about you doing the thing that you believe you have to do and knowing that if I don't do something about this, no one else will. Remaining focused means if I don't get up in the morning and do something about my vision, my desires, nobody else will do it for me. Now that's how you maintain your focus. That's how you maintain your drive. It's about your ability. It's about your purpose. And listen, it's really important to maintain your focus. And how do you do this? How do I keep focused when there's so many things going on around me? I thought it would be easier. Well, one of the things I want to talk to you about is about being in control, right? Oftentimes, and it's a human nature, we want to be in control. And even in our discussion, and you're asking how to maintain your focus, it's really about remaining in control. Why is it important to keep my focus? Because as you remain in control, as you keep focused on what you're trying to do, you then make a decision as to what you do. The reality is that the government is not controlling you. Society is not controlling you. Your boss, your job is not controlling you. Every day, you and I make decisions about what we do. And it's that decision that has our focus. So if you know you've got a vision, right? If you know there's something you want to achieve and you do nothing about it, that's you exercising a control over your decision making. What it means when you don't focus on what you believe you should be doing, what you believe in your heart is a vision that you need to bring forth and you need to birth and manifest and drive through, is that we can lead to an area of mismanagement. What do I mean? I mean that we could have gifts that we're mismanaging right now. And I'll give you a really quick example. How many of us are in a job for the pay? It's not an assignment. It's not a calling. It's not anything. We do this job because it gives us the money we require at the end of the month. Now that's fine and that's great and that's responsible. I'm not saying to leave that job, but I'm illustrating the fact that we have to decide, am I going to do something because at the end of the day, it gives me the money and that's all I need to do? Or am I going to focus on something that is an assignment that comes with pain and sacrifice? And the two are different. You see, when we don't focus on what we believe we should be doing right now, we take a detour in life. We choose a different route, a different path. We go off chart, off scale. We go off the plan that was put in place. And so we're doing something, but it wasn't in the original plan. And so you're saying you're losing focus. Is it that you're going off script? Is it that you're no longer following the plan? Following what you had put down, what you had planned in your heart and your mind? Are you no longer following what you knew or know to do? And that's why you're losing focus probably. Let me give you 2 quick tips about how to maintain your focus. Number 1, write it down. Write down the plan. What's the idea? And set yourself some goals. You want to make sure you have some short-term goals, some medium-term goals, and some long-term goals. Now, not every single goal on your plan should be something like, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. That's great, but that might be a long-term plan. Maybe a short-term plan could be, I'm actually going to get some information about this, or I'm going to sign up for this thing, I'm going to do this work, or I'm going to connect with someone. That's a short-term plan that's easy and quick to do. Then you move on to something medium-term, right? And then you head for the long-term. So the first thing is make a plan. What's the second thing? Stick to the plan. Listen, when you sit down and you write out a plan how to get from A to B, stick to it, follow it through. Yes, it might not work the first time or the second time, but you keep revising the plan. You keep at it. I'm convinced, remember the mother I told you about, climbing that mountain? I'm convinced she had to try different routes to get to the mountain, people. Remember, it's not just about skill. It's not just about connections and who you know. That's all great. But you have to, within yourself, have the drive. It's called determination. It's called assignment. It's called purpose, right? The willpower, you've got to have that to be able to execute what you're trying to do. She would have failed a lot of times. She might have hurt herself on the journey. She might have actually had a meltdown emotionally, but she kept her focus. What was the focus? Rescue my baby and come back home. What's your focus in your plan? What are you trying to achieve? What's the goal? Remember it and go after it. It's really, really important. I'm going to stop here for a second because I remember I did a seminar at the close of 2020 called The Power of Focus. It was amazing. I spent 2 hours speaking about this topic and I spoke about the power of focus, 2 hours non-stop. It was amazing. And actually, your question has triggered me to ask all of you listening to me today, would you like me to rerun The Power of Focus? I want your response. Put it in the comment section. Yes, rerun The Power of Focus. Get in touch with me via email if you have to. Listen, I'm on social media. Get in touch with me. Send me a direct message. Put it in the comment if you want me to run The Power of Focus again. Because I'm telling you, we all need focus. We all need to keep on script, keep on point. So if you'd like me to run The Power of Focus, drop it down quickly in the comment section. Say yes. And if enough of you, get in touch with me and say, yes, run it. I promise you within a month, you're going to hear The Power of Focus being advertised, okay? So back to you and your question. I pray that what I've shared has been really, really helpful. There's so much I can say, but I've given you enough to get started. And I want to pray over you and decree over you. I decree over you that you will make a plan, that you'll be able to set goals for yourself and you'll be able to stick to the plan. I pray and decree that the Holy Spirit will continue to prompt you and lead you as you journey, like that mother did, to rescue and to establish your vision. I decree in the name of Jesus that as you work towards your vision, you will be encouraged along that journey, that they're more for you than against you. May you have a great, great week. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Ask the Coach. Remember, you can send me your questions at info@SimoneOlagokeMinistries.com. I look forward to hearing from you and I look forward to sharing again with you next week. Before you go, remember, drop me a comment. Do you want me to run the Power Focus seminar again, like in the next 4 weeks? Secondly, if you haven't liked the video, like the video, please. You are a tremendous help to me. Please share it with those in your community, your friends. Get this stuff out there. And if you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and click the bell so that you're instantly notified when my next video is uploaded. Love you guys. Take care and God bless.